Kairos Victoria, along with the Victoria chapter of Independent Jewish Voices and UVic's Social Justice Studies program, are proud to sponsor this important conversation tonight with our honored guest, Jonathan Shapira. The organizers of this event know that conversations like the one we're about to have here tonight are critical to deepening our understanding of the crisis in Israel-Palestine. Because the information we get from mainstream media sources does not always accurately reflect the reality of life under occupation, it's even more important that we have opportunities to engage with people who know firsthand what life is like for all who call Israel, Palestine home. Friends, let us welcome Jonathan Shapira to Victoria.
Although I feel that you are in some kind of sympathetic, I want to say again that everything that I'm going to say, and some of it will be quite hard things against my country, is out of love to the people who live there, regardless their religion, regardless their ethnic background, Israelis, Palestinians, Jews, Christians, Muslims, and any other religions. I can say that I really came from the very hardcore Zionist family, Zionist background, Zionist movement. And I grew up in this kind of atmosphere, this kind of education and upbringing. And I went through kind of a transformation from an obedient Zionist soldier that believed the system and feel comfortable with it to someone that is still caring a lot about my country and my people, but in a totally different way. Just a week ago, exactly on Thursday night, in Aida refugee camp, which is in Bethlehem. Those of you that are connected to the Kairos initiative and spend time in Bethlehem, it's just there in Bethlehem, connected to right next to not far from the center. A border police jeep entered the refugee camp at night, and the officer was reading this message in the megaphone. And I'll read you the English translation. He was shouting it in Arabic. People of Aida refugee camp, this is the Israeli army. You throw stones and we will hit you with gas until you all die. We won't leave any of you alive. We have arrested one of you. We took him from his home and we will slaughter and kill him while you watch. If you keep throwing stones, go home, or we will gas you until you die. Your family, your children, everyone, we will kill you. Well, it's not the official line of the Israeli government, but I think a day after, or when the video was published, he was suspended. I don't know if he's still suspended or he's back in service. Nevertheless, the next day or 2 days later, not so far from there in another village, a Palestinian child, 8 months old, a baby, suffocated to death from the gas that they shot on the civilians. Just to bring us to the reality on the ground over there. It's happening right now as we speak. People are being killed, humiliated and oppressed on a daily basis. And I think it's important to realize that we are all part of it. Even people that live in Victoria, you are citizens of a country that support that. I know that you got rid of someone that was very supportive. But we don't know the next guy if he's just talking nicely or if he really can change something. From little things I heard here and there, it doesn't seem much different. So it's really up to us and up to you here to change the policy of your country. Canada in the latest years was even more supportive of the government of Israel than the United States. Canadian companies are involved directly and indirectly with the occupation and operation on the West Bank of different companies. There is armed trade between the countries, and that should stop. That should come to an end, and it's up to you here in different organizations, and some of them I just learned to know about when I came here, to come up with creative ideas and initiatives. And I will talk a little bit more about the BDS movement that I'm part of now. Basically, the main idea of that movement is that everyone can be part of the struggle. You don't have to be a soldier or a pilot that will refuse, that will go to demonstration in the West Bank in order to affect the situation. You can live in the beautiful, peaceful Victoria city or Vancouver Island and actually be essential part of the struggle for liberation. When the power of balance is so huge, when the power imbalance is so huge, when there's one side very strong with super big equipped army with so many different ammunition and helicopters and plane and tanks, and the other side is so weak, violence most of the time will help the strong side, and everything will use as an excuse to even intensify the oppression and do much more harm. I'm not from here, from my position as a privileged Israeli, white, Jew, ex-military, living safely, relatively in Tel Aviv, I will not tell the Palestinian people how to resist the injustice, how to resist the oppression. What I can do is to choose what kind of struggle I join, and I choose the non-violent struggle in the form of boycott, divestment, and sanctions. For me, it was mostly the assassination policy, where the Air Force started to send Apache helicopters, F-16 fighter jets to attack Palestinian suspects in Gaza and in the West Bank. If I need to put the finger of one specific thing, was a specific attack on Gaza where they bombed with a 1-ton bomb the house of Salah Shehadeh in July 2002 in the middle of the night. 15 people got killed in a second, among them 9 children and babies, and collateral damage of 150 people injured around a big hole in the ground in the most dense populated place, one of the most densely populated places in the world. And it's a long story, but together with other pilots, we drafted the letter saying that we are going to refuse not just to fly over Gaza, but to refuse to be in any way part, directly or indirectly, part of the ongoing occupation, the oppression of the Palestinian people. The letter was published in 2003. I was part of an organization that today I see as a terror organization that inflicts so much pain and suffering on so many people, and indirectly inflicts so much pain and suffering on also the Israeli people. But the process continued for me, and I felt that it's not a balanced situation. It's not two groups fighting against each other with equal forces. It's an oppressor and oppressed. It's an occupier and occupied. It's a colonizer and the native fighting against each other. One with one of the biggest armies, or the strongest army, at least in the region, and one with almost nothing. And at that point, I realized that I need to not join the struggle of the Palestinian people. And that's quite a big shift. I think from saying yes to saying no in the military than to be a leader or a founder member or like activist in an organization that struggle in the way I told you, to someone that follows actually the Palestinian initiative for boycott, divestment, and sanctions. It's quite a strong, quite a big change, change of mindset. So in 2009, together with other Israeli citizens, we formed this group that is called Boycott from Within. It has many names that are too long, but basically we are Israeli citizens that support the Palestinian call for boycott, divestment, and sanctions, the Palestinian call for BDS. As I started a few minutes ago and said that you are also involved and you are also part of the occupation. And if you find where your links, your connections to this dynamic, where you can actually not buy something, go to a vigil, join some petition, be active also in things locally here that has to do with the horrible policy of your own government towards the people here and towards the land and toward the environment, then I believe that there is a chance for improvement in this world. But thank you very much, and we'll go on.